guys, welcome back to episode 5 of our Thanksgiving extravaganza. Guys, today we're going to be making some delicious carrots. These are going to be a perfect side for anything you're going to be serving during the Thanksgiving time. And guess what? This one is super easy as well, just like our video the other day here for our Brussels sprouts. This one is, again, guys, super simple. Few ingredients, and it's going to be very delicious. Now, instead of your traditional spices that you might typically think of during Thanksgiving, such as clove or allspice, we're actually going to go down more of an Indian spice, right? So we're going to be using some curry and some turmeric, and as well as a bit of ginger. So, guys, this will be, again, a very simple dish, but it's going to be really sweet, delicious, and like always, guys, anything with a side that's roasted is usually pretty tasty. Now, guys, if you're enjoying any of these Thanksgiving episodes, please feel free to hit that like, subscribe, or the little dinner bell thingy down below, because it'll let you know when the next video hits the old YouTube universe. Now, there are only a few ingredients, but before we jump into that, guys, as always, B-roll. Alright, so with that delicious B-roll out of the way, guys, let's quickly get through the ingredients. Not surprisingly, we're going to start with carrots. Now, as you might have noticed, these are not your everyday carrots. These are heirloom carrots, which have a beautiful color and will be just more interesting on your plate. So go ahead and stack those on high and show off some of those beautiful colors. But we also need to work here, so let's make some room. Our next unsurprising ingredient for our ginger carrots is going to be, well, ginger. So go ahead and grab yourself some fresh ginger. You also want to make a sort of sweet coating, which will come from our maple syrup, Canadian maple syrup, and of course a bit of olive oil. Now in my case, I use about 1/3 of a cup of each. To that you'll be adding some garlic powder, which again guys, you could replace with fresh garlic, but this was a little bit easier and more handy. To add some amazing color, you're gonna grab yourself some turmeric, guys. I use about 1 tablespoon of this stuff, but you can always use more or less depending on the number of people. Next up is of course some curry, because this is gonna add these kind of beautiful Indian flavors that we were talking about, and just also add beautiful colors as well. Now to keep things a bit more familiar, you're gonna go ahead and grab yourself some cinnamon. About 1/4 teaspoon to a 1/2 teaspoon should do. Next, you want to grab yourself a bit of sea salt, followed by some freshly ground black pepper. Finally, and optionally, you can also grab a bit of fresh sage. And that's it, guys. That's all the ingredients. Super short list. It's time to get to prep. So go ahead and grab your heirloom carrots, take the top off, but keep a little bit on there because it looks kind of pretty, and then begin to cut these on a bias. And depending how big or thick the carrot is, you can cut these thinner or multiple times or in half like so. It doesn't really matter. Just try to add a lot of surface area. And as I said, guys, the beauty of heirloom carrots is the wonderful array of colors, as you can see here. But we don't have time to be mesmerized by the colors, so let's keep going. So go ahead and grab yourself a large bowl and dramatically drop your carrots into said bowl. Then grab yourself a smaller bowl and begin to grate your ginger. Now, as I said, guys, you're going to want to grate up as much as you think you need. It's really to taste and depending how many people you're serving, but ultimately you can go ahead and grate this with the skins on. In yet another bowl, go ahead and begin to make your sort of pseudo dressing. So place about 1/3 of a cup of olive oil, followed by about 1/3 of a cup of your wonderful Canadian fresh, delicious maple syrup. Of course, season with a bit of kosher salt, and then hit it with the rest of your spices. In this case, about 1/2 tablespoon of turmeric, followed by about 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and about 1 tablespoon of curry powder. Once all our spices are in the bowl, go ahead and give this a quick mix. And don't be afraid to thin this out a bit with a bit more olive oil as needed. With that done, go ahead and add your freshly grated ginger into the mix, and simply stir one more time to incorporate everything into the pot. This is essentially a sweet ginger curry dressing that will coat our carrots. Finally, if you did decide to use some sage, go ahead and cut the bottoms off that, give it a quick roll and a fine chop. You can then add as little or as much of this as you want to the mix. And speaking of mixing, it's time to mix up all of our ingredients. So go ahead and pour your sweet ginger curry dressing over your carrots, and then go ahead and give these bad boys a quick toss. You should have a nice even and yet thin coating on the carrots, but again guys, if you need more, go ahead and add more dressing. Ultimately, you should have something that looks a bit like this, and now it's time to add your sage. So go ahead and use as much or as little as you want, and then go ahead and give it one more quick toss before moving over to your baking tray. And nothing says Thanksgiving feast like an aluminum baking sheet, so go ahead and put all your carrots in there. Again, it's okay to stack your carrots here, but ideally you have a lot more surface area, so go ahead and lay these out as best you can. But when you cook in these aluminum trays, it takes a little bit longer for these to brown, so they're gonna have to sit in a 425-degree oven for about 30 minutes or until golden brown. So after 30 minutes, it's time to plate. So go ahead and stack your carrots on high. And the first thing you'll notice, guys, is how wonderful the colors look. The bright yellows, oranges, and of course the beautiful dark purples. As a finishing touch, go ahead and add a bit of chopped parsley if you want. And in front of you should be a beautiful dish of ginger curry carrots, guys. These are an amazing side for your Thanksgiving feast. If you don't believe me, just take a look at this close-up. That is phenomenal. And because I couldn't help myself, I had to show you just how beautiful these actually are. And they taste delicious, guys. These are an absolute hit. So there you go, guys. There are our ginger and curried carrots, perfect for your Thanksgiving meal. And there we go. We're at the end of the video. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching till the end. As always, thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. We will see you in the next one.